Hey traders, Jason here from Lever Brothers. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the leading stocks in several leading groups. Okay, the market's doing well. NASDAQ, S&P are close to their highs. Small caps are catching up some. Based on what stocks are doing well, you can conclude that, like, I don't want to say the animal spirits are alive. It doesn't really feel like that because the market's actually been kind of quiet. But there's definitely an appetite for some risk on trades, where this is not a situation where the Walmarts of the world are leading and tech stocks are lagging. Tech stocks are actually doing really well. So if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I believe that stocks move in groups. And when a group moves, most of the stocks tend to move. A rising tide raises all ships. So I'm going to go through some leading groups right now. I'm going to show you some of the stocks in those groups that are doing well. Some of them are playable right now. Some of them have already run up. They've been nice trades for us over the last couple weeks, and they're not playable right now, but they remain in play. Maybe we get them in a couple weeks. Maybe we get them in a month or so. It just kind of depends on how things develop. All right, so let's go through some of these leading stocks in what I consider to be the leading groups. All right, here's Archer. It's part of the drone aerospace group. Drone stocks, popped yesterday, but the group overall has done pretty well, has perked up definitely in the last month. So we got like this bottom left side head pattern, left shoulder head consolidation pattern here above the 21-day moving average. It shoots up, volume really strong, and then it comes back down and tests. If you were to draw like a top of that base there, comes down and tests that and then ramps up again. Everything looks good here. Okay, the stock is kind of loose. It can be a little bit unpredictable. Lots of overlapping candles. It's not a free-flowing stock that you'd like, but there's no doubt that it's in play right now. And as like a kind of a lesson, you can see like the market, when it went up here, strong volume. When it dropped, volume dropped off. Then you had strong volume again on the way up. And then on these several down days, you had lighter volume here and then stronger volume on the way up. So strong volume on the way up, weaker volume on the way down. Everything looks good. I definitely think the stock's going to at least go back to its high, probably go up into the mid-teens, further into the mid-teens. It's just a question of getting a good entry. The stock is definitely in play right now. Here's Black Sky, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time on each one. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. So we'll continue here. So Black Sky, we got a left side consolidation. We got like a rounded bottom here, a little consolidation pattern here, jumps up right there. And then we get, kind of a triangle pattern here, ascending triangle, and it's trying to push its way up through there. And it got to a higher high. That's like a 3-month high, but it didn't get any follow through. So stock is still in play. We just haven't had an explosive move yet. Here's Joby. Really loose stock, lots of overlapping candles, lots of gaps. You can see like left side here, kind of a head here, pushed to a higher high, came back down and tested, and then you can see it took off. Big gap there, big move down there, gap here, a lot of big loose candles in here. Then it gapped up yesterday. So I like the stock overall. I definitely think it's going to go higher. I'm not playing it right now because I think it just needs to quiet down. It's just kind of too loose and too unpredictable, but it's definitely in play and it's part of one of the the leading groups right now. ONDS came out of a base here, really nice base. Volume quieted down here, lots of volume bars below average. Then as you can see, it ramps up, breaks out, lots of volume over here. Now it's pulling back. So the stock is in play. We don't know what's going to happen. But any type of trade out of the base here, stop's been hit. So now flat, and just see what develops. Maybe it just quiets down for a few days. Maybe it quiets down for a few weeks and gives us another trade, up for another buck. Here's Red Cat, based. But the stock has been somewhat, I don't want to say unpredictable, but not always following through. Okay, so overall, it's got this big base here, but it broke out right here, but then gave it back. There was a higher high here, but then gave it back. If you look closely over here, it looked like the stock like ramped up over here, but then there was a higher high right there, but then it fell back, and then finally we got a breakout last week. So the stock's in play. It looks nice, probably going to go higher. It took a couple of attempts to get out of this base, but now that it's out, volume really strong, it's very likely to go higher. It's just a question of, what's our entry? Does it move sideways for a few days and we play a breakout? Does it pull back here to 8 to the high 7s and maybe get scooped up by its 21-day moving average? We'll see what develops. But just the fact that the stock has been able to exit its 3-month base, means it's in play, and it's probably not going to fall back into its base unless the entire market falls hard. RDW has been a really good one for us. You can see, left side here, head here, consolidation pattern here, moves up, comes down and tests at 21, and then moves up again. You can see volume. The volume pattern here is really good. Whereas, moving up on strong volume, backing off on lighter volume. Everything about this looks really good and constructive. We played this one at Levitt Brothers. So I don't think it's playable right now because it's just run up so much. It's up 50% just this month, less than 2 weeks. So we'll see if it can quiet down and move sideways, or quiet down and maybe pull back and get scooped up again by its 21-day moving average. Here's Rocket Lab. We've been playing this one since last summer. In fact, this was my biggest trade last year where I made over 500%. Stock's been loose, oftentimes false breakouts. You can see like a higher high here and it falls back, higher high here and it falls back, higher high here, and then it consolidates. It's a kind of stock I've learned, like, you got to buy a dip, not a breakout, because breakouts don't often stick. So what I'm looking for right now, and I don't have a position, is I'm just looking at this big rounded pattern here. And so I'm looking for some sort of an extended handle over there to match up with its cup, or maybe just a pullback to a moving average. Right now I'm just kind of monitoring it week by week, seeing what develops. But it's not a stock I want to chase higher, because it often makes a higher high and then pulls back. So that's just the personality of the stock we got to be aware of. Last one in the aerospace drone space, UMAC came out of a base, strong volume. You can see down here, it's in play, runs up to $10. Maybe we do some backing and filling back, back to $8. Maybe we, there was 8 was a key level over here, so maybe we come down to 8. Maybe it gets scooped up by, find support at the 8 or the 21-day moving average, which are down here. But stock breaks out of a base on strong volume. It's in play, probably going to be, go well into the double digits. All right, next group is going to be power, nuclear power. These stocks have done really well. Not all the time, but they're doing really well right now. You can see Lightbridge, huge cup here. Now we got a consolidation pattern near its high. This is perfect. This is exactly what you want. Okay, big cup pattern, consolidation. This is obviously a mess. Lots of overlapping candles. You could be up $1 or $2 one day and then be down $1 or $2 the next day. That's how volatile it is. So you got to know what the animal is that you're trading, but this is definitely in play, probably going higher, probably going up into the 20s. It's just a question of, can you get a good entry that allows you to sit tight and let it play out, as opposed to getting chopped up. Okay, but overall, the structure of this pattern is really good. NNE, this one has lagged its peers a little bit. Left side here, head here, now consolidating. But this is like very loose. I don't know where, maybe some support over here at 28, which was a key level there. Plus it's the 21, but I don't know where resistance is. It's kind of hard to judge. But I do know that things are calming down. We've had a couple of lighter volume days. So we'll see what happens here. Maybe we get another dip. Maybe it just moves sideways. Stock is in play. Just don't know what the entry is right now. Oklo has been fantastic, big. I mean, on the shorter term, you got this pattern here, but a bigger, longer term, you got this big cut pattern, and now we got handle forming here. So maybe this needs to last for another month. I don't know. Maybe 2 months. I don't know. I mean, this is a big cut pattern, so it might take some time to consolidate those gains. But overall, super strong stock, consolidating at its highs in a leading group. Everything about it is good. It's volatile. It's a tech stock. It can move a lot, so you got to make sure you have a decent entry that allows you to give it some space. Otherwise, you end up getting chopped up, because you can see here this range here from 58 to 46. That's like a 25% range, upwards of 30% at the lower part. So that's a lot. So you want to get a good entry so you can hold. But overall, Like, I don't know what path it'll take, but I can definitely see this thing being much higher several months from now. SMR, same group, rolling pattern here, ramps up, consolidates, and then takes off. And then as you can see, today it is breaking out again. So, moved up, moved sideways between converging trend lines, and now it's breaking out. So everything about this stock looks good, other than the challenge with it being very volatile, and therefore entries are hard to get. All right, APLD. This is we're getting into data center stocks. Data centers are huge with all this AI stuff, robotics, cloud computing. It's like we need these big data centers that can crunch a lot of numbers. They require a lot of power. We just went through like a nuclear power group. Now let's go through some data center stocks. APLD, I don't have a trade here. I didn't trade this one, but I just know that it's strong stock in one of the leading groups right now. As you can see, it ramped up. It just doubled in less than 2 weeks. So for now, I'm just watching it. I don't have a position. I don't have an opinion other than the fact that it's a strong stock doing well. CoreWeave, everyone knows this one's done really well. Went public, moved up, formed kind of a bull pattern, and then just took off. I mean, sometimes you get lucky. I did not play this. I know some people on Twitter, they're playing it, bragging about it, all that stuff. It's great. It's on my list. I'll watch it, see what's going on. I'm not going to chase it higher. I don't want to be one of those people that is so late to the party and then I just get slammed on it. But I'll see if it matures and goes sideways, maybe pulls back, touches the 21 or something, like on a market dip, which we'll get at some point in time. Maybe get some on a dip. But like right now, it's just on my list. But even if I don't play it, it's still indicative of the fact that data center stocks are doing really well. Nebius is a stock that we did play at Levitt Brothers. Got this base here. Boom, boom. You can see it broke out, consolidated here, and then broke out again. So right now it's not playable. To me, this trade is over. We had a couple targets up here that got hit. Trade is over, and we'll see what happens from here. This is very loose. Okay, I love the volume here, but it's very loose. Too much movement day to day. It really needs to calm down for like not just a couple days, but probably like an entire month. It really needs to calm down before there's another trade. Unless it just kind of falls back and then bounces off a moving average, it's simply to be on our watch list. Here is TSS. Beautiful development, how this thing unfolded. Left side here, bottoming here. So gaps up on earnings, probably not playable. Okay, certainly I didn't play it. Huge volume here. Now notice when it comes back down, moves up, comes back down, and it takes off. But notice how right in here, it starts getting really quiet. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, for a stock to move up on earnings, okay, they're crushing it. Stock pulls back, tests the 21 a couple times, and then you get a very quiet stock for 5 days. That quietness is what you want. Okay, stock, volatility expands, then volatility contracts. It's very quiet, and then boom, it explodes out of there, and the stock moves from like 13, 14 up into 20. So you get like a 50% move in less than 2 weeks. This one looks really good. Am I chasing it here? No, but it's in play. It's in one of the strong groups, and if we get a dip here on some sort of market correction, then we'll probably get another chance sometime in somewhere in the teens, and then we'll be able to play it for a move up into the 20s. All right, AI stock's doing really well. I'm not going to go through a lot of these. Okay, AI, the ticker symbol. We got this bottoming pattern here. Finally broke out end of May. Now it's quieting down here, converging trend lines. Very quiet. Volume over here declining. So this one's in play. Tempest, kind of a mess. Very volatile, up and down. Certainly can't trust it at all. But I do think it's in play. You got a left side here, you got a bottoming here, moves up, comes down, tests the 50. I'd say it's consolidating, but it's very loose and it's hard to get an entry. So I think it's in play. I think it goes much higher. I think it goes up over 100. The question is, can you get an entry? Okay, strong stock. Well, I should say it's a strengthening stock. It's a stock that has high upside potential in a leading group, which is AI right now. All right, last group. Quantum computing, you can see LAES broke out of a base here. Now it's consolidating, finding support at the 21. This looks really good. I mean, everything about this, we have a base that extends for a couple months. Volume over here is very quiet. Then volume gets huge. Now it's consolidating and volume is quieting down again. So everything about this looks really good going forward for a trade. QBTS, big down here, big up here, big up here, big down there. Stock has not been smooth and consistent. There's some big candles, there's some small candles, and then the stock took off. So now we got consolidating, which is exactly what we want. Okay, let it rest, let it quiet down, let volatility contract, let the candles get a little smaller, let volume weaken as it has, and then it'll be playable. Last one, QUBT, another one of the quantum stocks doing really well. Not a very good trend line there, but you got a base here, you got a breakout, you got strong volume, you got a consolidation. You can see here's your strong volume, and now it's ramping up again. So everything about this looks good. This thing's going to go up into the 20s. I'm not going to chase it here, but if you get a little bit of a pullback and get caught up get scooped up by the 21, it will be playable. All right, so that's it for now. It's a good sign that our leading stocks are aerospace, drones, okay, nuclear energy, power stocks, data center stocks, AI stocks, quantum computing stocks. Okay, that's pretty clear what the market is doing. We're in a risk on environment. Market's doing well. Most of the indexes are near their highs. I don't think this is a time to throw all caution to the wind. I'm going to become kind of on the outlook, looking out for the possibility of a new high that then gets slammed down. But overall, these stocks are in play, doing well, and they're probably going to continue to do well for many months to come. All right, hope you got something out of this. We'll see you next time.